Assalamualaikum and hi. Before I present my final year project, I introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Naziro bin Hassan Basari and my supervisor is TS Dr. Amir Abdullah bin Muhammad Damanhuri. The title for my project is Investigation of Thermal Comfort at Selected Temporary Evacuation Center in Tropical Climate at Melaka. Okay, first is introduction. As we know, Malaysia has faced many disasters. For example, flood. Flood disasters occur due to heavy rain that result in high water level in major river and in turn cause the river water to overflow in some areas. Because of that, many people are needed temporary shelter. Temporary evacuation center need to be opened for the flood victims involved. It allows the victim to be in a safe and comfortable place. There are some places that are used as flood evacuation centers such as school, multipurpose hall, mosques and community halls. Next is problem statement. For this research, there is 3 criteria that is considered. The temporary evacuation centers are hot. That because the area are too crowded. Next, the quality of work will decrease because of the head are not good condition. Last, the thermal comfort are not comfortable at there. That is 2 objectives for the research. First is to investigate selected indoor parameters that influence to the thermal comfort at temporary evacuation center in Melaka. Second is to access predict mean vote PMV and predict percentage of dissatisfied PPD for selected MELAKA temporary evacuation center using CBE thermal comfort tool. Next is the scope is to maintain thermal comfort. There is 2 factors need to consider. One is environment factor such as air temperature, mean radiant, relative humidity and velocity. Second is for hormone factor is clothing and activity. Okay, for the methodology, this is the flow chart for this research. In methodology, there are several parts. First is site selection. For this research, I choose 3 schools at Melaka Tengah. SK Dengan Tunggal and SMK Bukit Katih use class as temporary evacuation center, and SJKC Sinwah use hall as temporary evacuation center. Next is building characteristic. This is sample of class layout and the parameter of class. Next is hall parameter and the layout of the hall. In the hall is the sample of 10 condition. Okay, for this research, there are 2 instruments are used. Globe thermometer are used to get the value of air temperature, relative humidity and globe temperature. For air velocity, the instrument are used is anemometer. The data will be taken from 8 AM to 6 PM. This is because that time the most climate time to see the situation in the room. The data we take every 50 minutes. The height of instrument is 1 meter above from floor. CBE thermal comfort tool are used to get the value of PMV and PPD based on reading that get from temporary evacuation center. This is the questionnaire that used in the research. There is 40 questions about thermal comfort. Next is result and discussion. First data that collect is air temperature. Based on the graph, there is a combination between 3 of school. For SK Dengan Tunggal, that red line are increased from morning to noon. After that, the temperature are in range 31 Celsius to 32 Celsius. For SMK Bukit Katih, that purple line are increased slightly because the weather at that day are cloudy. But for SJKC Sinwah, the temperature from morning to noon are in range 35 to 26 Celsius. It because at that time the weather are rainy and stop at noon. So after that, the temperature are increased until to 32 Celsius at evening. Okay, for air velocity, the reading that get from three screw are in the acceptable range, that from 0.15 to 0.5 meter per second. Only a little of reading are outrange of the acceptable range. Like SJKC Sinwar at morning, the value is high because of the wind when rainy are interluding. Next is humidity. Based on the SJKC Sinwar yellow line, the humidity is high in the morning to noon as the value 75% to 84%. It shows that when rainy, the value of humidity are high. After the rain stop, the humidity are continuous decrease to 51% in evening. As the weather are cloudy for SMK Bukit Kate, the humidity only in range 60 to 70%. Meanwhile, the hot weather at SMK Duyang Tunggal make the reading of humidity are low at range 45 to 50%. For the survey data, only two questions are take a sample. First is type of clothes that wear at evacuation center. There is 57 respondents are answered the question. There is 12 respondents choose sport pants, sport shirts. 20 respondents choose trouser, long sleeve shirt, and 35 respondents choose pants, short sleeve. Next is activity usually do at evacuation center. The most selected activity is sitting quietly. There is 39 respondents. For reading while sitting down, only 7 respondents, and 6 respondents for lie down. The lowest is walk. There is 1 respondent, and sleep only 4 respondents. Based on the picture, the PMV showed the value negative 0.448 with elevated airspeed, and PPD showed the value 6%. It showed that the classroom at the SK Duyang Tunggal at 12:30 p.m. is comfortable for the victim as it complies with ASHRAE Standard 55. As the red dot is in the blue zone, the space are still uncomfortable for victim. Although the air temperature are not in acceptable range, but the airspeed is high, we make the space uncomfortable. Based on this picture, the PMV show the value negative 0.26 with elevated airspeed, and PPD show the value 6%. It shows the whole space at 12:30 p.m. is comfortable for the victim as it complies with ASHRAE Standard 55. As the red dot is in the blue zone, the space are still uncomfortable for victim. Although the air temperature and humidity are not in acceptable range, but with the airspeed is high from outside, we make the space uncomfortable. Based on this picture, the PMV show the value negative 0.60 with elevated airspeed, and PPD show the value 13%. It shows the classroom at SMK Bukit Kate at 12:30 p.m. is slightly cool. For the victim, they are only sit, as it not comply with ASHRAE Standard 55. But if the victim do some activity, the thermal will be comfort. As the red dot is out of a little the blue zone, the space are slightly cool for victim that are sit. As we can see in graph PPD and PNW, only SMK Bukit Kate that not in acceptable comfortable zone. SK Duyang Tunggal and SJKC Sinwar are in comfortable zone.
The acceptable value for PMV is in range negative 0.5 to 0.5, and for value for PPD is from 0 to 10%.
The discussion for the research is the selection site are comfortable for the victim. The natural factor and human factor will affect the value of PMV and PPG at evacuation center. The weather will affect the reading of data. The victim are comfortable based on survey. Last is recommendation. First is for net research, use more sensitive tool to obtain more accurate data that can record data by every interval. Next, use more device at the temporary evacuation center to get the comparison based on the different place that we locate. Lastly, take the data at different uploading and level to make the more comparison and at which space are more comfortable.
Last is reference. This is a several reference I use to do this research.
And that's all from me. Thank you.